I was halfway through my morning coffee when I stumbled upon an email I was never meant to see. It had been forwarded to me by mistake, a full breakdown of the wedding plans for my daughter, including the guest list. My name wasn't on it. Not even tucked away at the bottom. I wasn't simply left out. I had been deliberately deleted, as though I didn't exist. My wife, Claire, and our daughter, Emily, had clearly been working on this for months. I remembered the hushed conversations that abruptly ended the second I walked into the room. I told myself it was just wedding stress. That's where I went wrong. That evening, I brought it up. Claire let out a tired sigh and rubbed her temples, as if dealing with me was just one more item on her long list of chores. Emily. She just rolled her eyes. Dad, it's just a wedding. You're being dramatic. Claire chimed in, her tone cold and condescending. Overreacting. I said. That's what people say when they want a man to stay quiet and accept being disrespected. I had raised Emily for 24 years. Funded her education. Held her through heartbreak. And this is how it ended, not with a fight, but with a silent cut. I didn't scream. I didn't argue. Instead, I booked a one-way ticket. 3 days before the ceremony, I was across the globe, watching the sun melt into the ocean from a quiet beach resort. That's when the calls started. One after another. Claire. Emily. Even Daniel, her fiancé. They had no idea what was waiting for them. Claire and I had been married 26 years. And during that time, I'd learned something crucial. Betrayal isn't sudden. It's gradual. A whisper here. A locked phone there. A shift in tone when you walk into the room. At first, I brushed it off. But it was all there. The irritation when I asked questions. The growing sense that I didn't belong in my own home. Then came the bank statement, the one that broke whatever was left. A 6-figure withdrawal. From an account in my name. Money I'd saved over decades. Meant for Emily's future. Just gone. I said nothing. I didn't confront Claire. Didn't accuse her. I just pretended not to notice. That was my first move. When the wedding invitation never came, no call, no message, not even a polite excuse, I made my second. I planned. And I waited. That night, I sat on a balcony in another country, sipping whiskey while the waves slammed into the rocks below. My phone buzzed across the table. Claire's name lit up the screen. I let it ring. Then Emily. Then Daniel. I answered. Dad, where are you? Emily's voice cracked with panic. On vacation, I replied. You need to come home. Why? Silence. Then a sharp inhale. In the background, Claire's voice, frantic, pleading. Because everything's gone. I smiled. They didn't know the half of it. Revenge isn't rage. Rage is sloppy. Revenge is calculated. Cold. Controlled. Months earlier, I'd already started making moves. First, the accounts. Claire had no idea I had pulled the money back weeks before she touched it. I liquidated our shared assets quietly, transferring them to an account she couldn't touch. Second, the house. Claire didn't realize that I had been selling my shares in the property. The moment she siphoned that large sum from my account, I triggered a clause in our prenup. Any act of financial fraud gave me full claim to the home. Every wall. Every brick. Third, the venue. A prestigious, members-only estate that required payment up front. Claire had signed the rental contract under my name. For convenience, she said. That gave me the legal right to cancel. Which I did. 3 days before the wedding. And since the deposit was non-refundable, the entire amount vanished. That's why Emily was calling in tears. She was standing in front of a grand wedding hall with no flowers, no caterers, no guests, only confusion. All that meticulous planning, gone. 2 days later, I walked back into the house like I never left, because legally, I still owned it. Claire stood alone in the now bare living room. The furniture had been repossessed. Power cut. Her face was hollow. Eyes swollen. Why? She whispered. I stepped closer and said quietly, because you erased me first. She choked back a sob. I didn't think you'd fight back. I tilted my head. That was your mistake. Suddenly, footsteps thundered down the stairs. Emily burst into the room, eyes filled with disbelief. Dad, how could you? How could I? I repeated, my voice calm. Emily, I gave you everything. Your schooling, your car, your life. And you couldn't even give me a seat at your wedding. She opened her mouth, but nothing came out. Choices have consequences, I said. You and your mother made yours. Now you live with them. Claire moved out the next day. Emily followed soon after. Last I heard, they rushed a civil ceremony. No gown, no flowers, no luxurious venue, just paperwork. Claire tried calling, repeatedly. I never answered. As for me, I lived quietly, peacefully, because revenge isn't about rage. It's about restoring balance. And I simply took back what was already mine.